Yes, sir, you are. Good morning, councils. Firstly, I would like to congratulate all of you for making it to the semi-final rounds. Today with us, we have designated senior counsel, Mr. L. Ravichandra, sir. He has been practicing for over 3 decades now and is a part-time journalist. Apart from law, sir is also passionate about classical music, movies, debating, and quizzing. Thank you, sir, for gracing our event with your presence. With your permission, Court Master Ms. Anushri Sutone will proceed with the rules of the competition.
Yes, please go ahead.
Anushri, please.
Yes. So the rules of the competition are each speaker will get a time of 15 minutes and rebuttals will be 2 minutes. That is 1 minute each. The first participant can yield their time to the second participant when they are done. Any extra time granted will be at the discretion of the judge. The judge at their discretion can give feedback after the rounds. I'll be notifying the time remaining with show of the placards. With this, with sir's permission, then we can proceed with the rounds.
Yeah, we can start. I'm ready.
Petitioners may begin their round.
The petitioner seeks the permission of the court to address the bench collectively as your lordship.
There is only one person. Go ahead.
Highly oblige, your lordship. May it please the court, my team code is Rubal Kendall and Soni Kachwai. The petitioner in the present case, the counsel on the behalf of petitioner in the present case, Rainbow Non-Profit Organization versus Republic of Replimento. Your lordship, with
This
your
non-profit organization, what is its purpose of work? In what area does the NGO work?
I'm not getting your point, your lordship.
You said that this is a non-profit organization. What work does this non-profit organization do?
It's specifically dealing with the queer community's rights and recognition of their status.
Therefore, this is not in the nature of a public interest petition. It's a private interest.
No, it's a public interest.
How is it public interest? You have an interest in the matter, isn't it? One of our rules of public interest is that you must have absolutely no connect with the subject matter of lists. Proceed.
With your lordship's permission, I would like to proceed with the facts of the case. The case is the facts of the case.
Skip the facts. You know they must. Okay, go ahead. Tell me the facts. Go ahead.
The Republic of Replimento is a multiculturalist country. There exists a law in the country which criminalizes the unnatural sexual intercourse irrespective of gender. The said law was condemned by world at large and considered as against the basic tenets of human rights. The highest court of Republic of Replimento held right to privacy as fundamental right and declared that said law was violative of Article 14, 15, and 19 of the Constitution and the sexual intercourse of adults irrespective of gender no more criminalized in Republic of Replimento. A few years later, a decision was passed by the highest court dismissing the plea of grant of civil rights to the LGBTQ community. After the said decision, various writ petitions were filed before various high court in the country to read the word person as defined in Hindu Marriage Act and Special Marriage Act so as to include the people of same sex. The Republic
Also,
of Replimento.
please show me before you go any further. Now, you told me that the law earlier as it stood had criminalized unnatural sexual intercourse, correct? Is unnatural sexual intercourse defined anywhere in any law?
The term unnatural sexual intercourse is not defined, but it is criminalized
So where do you get it? That
according to
any-
section 377 of IPC.
what does it say?
It says that sexual intercourse against the nature.
Against nature. Correct.
Yeah.
Against nature. Correct. What is nature is not defined anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, the word nature
And
has
what
to
is the basic tenet of criminal law? That a crime must be specifically defined. Okay, proceed.
Your Lordship, the issue number 1st and 2nd will be dealt by me, and issue number 3rd and 4th will be dealt by my co-counsels. Issue number 1st is that whether or not the provisions of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 and Special Marriage Act 1954 can be read in a manner to include the member of LGBTQ community. The issue with which the council is dealing is whether or not the Hindu Marriage Act.
Should it be? We'll come to whether it can be later. Why should one do it?
I'm not getting your point, Your Lordship. My pardon.
Counsel, you are saying that you will deal with the question whether or not the Hindu Marriages Act and the Special Marriages Act can be read in a manner to include members of the LGBTQIA community. Correct? Correct? I'm asking you, we'll go into the question whether you can or cannot read it later. I'm asking you a more fundamental question. Why should I read it into those two statutes?
Your Lordship, you should read these statute in order to grant civil rights or right to marriage to the members of the community.
1 minute. Where do you get the right to marriage as a civil right? Let me ask you this. Before the Hindu Marriages Act came into being, were marriages valid or invalid?
Marriages are valid.
So
They are according to uncodified laws, personal laws, and
correct.
sacrament union.
Go ahead then. What stops you? And if you all believe in a certain defiance, for whatever reason, why should the law stand up to say that we recognize it as a marriage?
A legal recognition of marriage will grant certain benefits to the couples, like inheritance rights, maintenance rights, and certain other rights.
Inheritance and so far as inheritance rights are concerned, they will be governed by alternatives such as a will or by a gift or by other testaments. See, after all, society will first move, then the law will come into being. If people of the said communities decide, why can't they set the standard rather than ask the court to help with them? And why do you want us to legislate?
Your Lordship,
Don't you
we
think
don't.
you're giving us a very smart.
Your Lordship, the council does not want the court to legislate. It just wants to interpret the matter in a manner to include the member of LGBT community.
Proceed.
Your Lordship, the council on the behalf of petitioner humbly submits that the provisions of Hindu Marriage Act and Special Marriage Act can be read in a manner, should be interpreted in a manner to include a member of LGBTQ community. The Hindu Marriage Act 1955 specifically contains the provisions relating to constitution and dissolution of marriage among Hindus, Buddhists, Jain, and Sikhs. The provisions of Hindu Marriage Act has not clearly prohibited the same-sex marriage. The legislature has
1 minute. Is marriage defined?
no, the word marriage has not defined anywhere in the Hindu Marriage Act.
Please verify. Also, there are certain prohibitions to a Hindu marriage. Yes or no?
Section 5 of the Hindu Marriage Act states certain conditions which, on the fulfillment of which, the valid marriage can be constituted.
Correct, and simple as that. No, if these are there, that is there.
But they are not clearly prohibit the same-sex marriage.
Okay, proceed.
The legislature has used gender-neutral terms which can be interpreted by the court to include the member of LGBTQ community. Your Lordship, the Council has submitted that Section 5.
Then I have another question for you. Has there been a single instance of any court rejecting a gay marriage for benefits of the statute of marriage? Now, your argument is that matrimony gives you certain rights, correct? And therefore, I'm entitled to those rights out of a gay marriage, correct? This is your argument? Which court
Indeed, Your
rejected it for you to get a law out of it? No court ever rejected it.
No court has rejected it.
You don't ask for a decree and you want a constitutional declaration, council.
Your Lordship, the matter was pending before various high court. Then the court suo motu the actions according to Article 139 of the Constitution in order to give a.
We got it to our court only because we do not want multiple offsprings from different courts on the legal aspect of the matter. That is why we have it here. We did not, I'm sure you're not accusing me of initiating this repetition.
Indeed not, Your Lordship. The council wants to clarify just the matter was pending before various high court, and then the Supreme Court, the highest court of Rapplimento, has seized the matter and transferred it to dispose of it by itself.
Proceed.
And Your Lordship, the council has submitted that Section 5 of Hindu Marriage Act, which provides essential condition to constitute a valid marriage.
Can you read it out for me, please?
It merely speaks that a marriage may be solemnized between two Hindus. If the following conditions are fulfilled, namely, neither party has a spouse living at the time of marriage. At the time of marriage, neither party is capable of giving a valid consent to it in consequences of unsoundness of mind.
Now, 1 minute, wait here. Now, how do I know? Okay, proceed.
Though capable of giving a valid consent, has been suffering from mental disorder of such a kind to such an extent as to unfit for the marriage, or the bridegroom has completed the age of 21 years and the bride the age of 18 years at the time of marriage.
Now wait. Therefore, that marriage that Section 5 talks of a marriage between a bridegroom and a bride.
Your Lordship, the council wants to highlight the word any two Hindus, which has a very broader contention.
How do you interpret a statute in parts?
The word bride and bridegroom has not given any specific definition according
to... Is the word
marriage
defined?
Statute. No, the word marriage has not given any statutory definition according to the Marriage Act. The council wants to highlight the word any two Hindus, which can have a broader contention. Any two Hindu can be include gay
and
marriage.
And when I come to the conditions, I must wink at bridegroom subsections.
Section 5, clause 3.
I must skip the traffic signal.
Section 5, subsection 3 talks about the age of bride and bridegroom.
Yes. Proceed.
Your Lordship, it is submitted that the Act does not provide gender specification nor definition of bride and bridegroom has given under the Act, and no specification that there needs to be a bride and bridegroom for the marriage. It is contended that the Act cannot be read in a manner to exclude a special group of society unless it is expressly prohibited. Your Lordship, the Council wants to go with other provisions of the Act, like Section 10, which deals with judicial separation, and it talks about that any party to marriage may, on fulfillment of certain condition, file an application for the judicial separation. The word here is used as the parties, which has a very broader contention and can be interpreted in a manner to include the member of LGBTQ community. Your Lordship, the Council hereby wants to refer some provisions of Special Marriage Act 1954 also, which contains...
Before you do that, I want you once again to go to section 5.
Which section, Your Lordship?
5.
Section 5 deals with the condition for valid marriage.
Correct. Now, do you want me to read section 5 completely or only one part of it?
To completely read the section
To completely read the section, please, what are the embargoes?
Section 5 speaks about any two Hindus can constitute a valid marriage on the fulfillment of certain conditions. And the word as the
And
word
the conditions are to be followed, correct? If I violate the conditions, the mere fact that we are Hindus does not make a valid marriage. Let me give you an example. Suppose there are two Hindus who have a living spouse. Merely because the word Hindus is inclusive, will the marriage of those two people be valid if their spouses are alive?
Indeed not, Your Lordship, because it does not specify section, the conditions stated under
that
section 5.
inclusive Hindu in the opening sentence of the opening phrase of the section must be read alongside with the conditions mentioned there.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Now, what do you say about Roman 3, small Roman 3?
The word bridegroom and bride has not given any specific definition according to this act. So it can be interpreted in a very broader manner.
Technical Classes Act. If there's no definition, what do you do?
The council would like to give cite an example here.
Yes.
There was a case in Haryana High Court where the two ladies wants to marry, and one of them recognize themselves as bridegroom and one of them recognizes
self-declaration. Self-declaration. So what I can now do is to violate condition number 1, saying spouse must not be alive, I can declare my spouse is dead and go and get married.
Indeed, Your Lordship, if you interpret
15 such examples in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and other states. Proceed.
Your Lordship, the Council hereby refers some provision of Special Marriage Act also, which contains the gender neutral terms and does not specifically recognize heterosexual union. Section 4 of Special Marriage Act provides that marriage between any two persons may be solemnized under this act.
Ma'am, are you trying to gobble me? I asked you some question. Are you trying to gobble me? You think I'm going to accept something by your repeatedly saying it? You have told me already.
Indeed not, Your Lordship.
If I understand you properly, considering that you're extremely articulate, you have told me that the word marriage among Hindus is gender non-specific, therefore cannot be excluded. Under a statute, you will not read down unless the statute does so. Therefore, man and man or woman and woman can get married. This is your argument. You've said so. Now, what is your next argument?
Now the Council moves with the provisions of Special Marriage Act. Section 4 of Special Marriage Act says that any two person can constitute a valid marriage on fulfillment of certain conditions. And that word,
so
any two person has
that statute. Why do you want to get married in a Hindu marriage? I was waiting for you to come there.
The issue.
there is a Special Marriages Act, correct? Now, why
Indeed,
does
you're
a Special Marriages Act come into being? Because under the Hindu Marriages Act, two people have to be Hindus to get married under that act. There can be two people who want to get married, both of who are not Hindus. One of them is and the other is not. What do? They go and get married under the Special Marriages Act. Because the expression in the Special Marriages Act is any two persons in contradistinction to any two Hindus under the Hindu marriage. Who will get married under that act? Why should this act be tinkered with? None
I'm
of
not
us
getting.
need to examine this from the sensitivity of the right to religious practices, etc., isn't it?
The Special Marriage Act allows the interreligious marriages, intercaste marriages, which was not allowed as per the
Correct. So
provisions
go
of.
get married there. You have an alternative remedy. Proceed.
Your Lordship, with this, this shows that legislature in its wisdom purposely choose to use gender-neutral terms instead of gender-specific terms, thereby enabling.
Counsel, is it your argument that the Special Marriage Act, which came in even before the Hindu Marriages Act, had a more liberal space of marriage than the Hindu Marriages Act? Is that your argument?
Indeed, Your Lordship.
If that is your argument, you will have to go. I'll tell you why. The subsequent statute will rule the field, not the preceding statute. The subsequent statute is the Hindu Marriages Act, and that restricts the marriage as stated under Section 5, and therefore the provisions of Special Marriages Act may not apply.
Section 5 talks about notice of intended marriage, which can be given by any party to marriage. And
No, I'm talking about Section 5 of the Hindu Marriages Act, not this act.
Section 5 of Hindu Marriage Act, which deals with
Okay,
the
proceed.
conditions of marriage.
You proceed.
And Section of the Special Marriage Act talks about the registration of marriage celebrated in other forms. The marriage celebrated in any other forms may be registered according to provisions of Section 15 of the Special Marriage Act.
Yes.
Therefore, it can be. Therefore, it is submitted to the court that the word that the provisions of Special Marriage Act 1954 and Hindu Marriage Act 1955 can be interpreted in a manner to include the members of LGBTQ community. Your Lordship, the Council hereby refers National Legal Service Authority versus Union of India, AIR 2014, Supreme
For
Court
what?
1863.
For what?
To support my contentions
That
discrimination based on the gender identity or sexual
there's
orientation
no
would be violative of.
discrimination based. No. What is the discrimination?
Discrimination is that if the court is not interpreting any statute in order to include the members of LGBTQ community, then their right to
Let me
marriage.
ask you this question. If the present interpretation of the law is illegal, as you are now trying to suggest, that the gender equality factor in the section is bad, then any person married from 1955 to this date, India is a country of bastards, isn't it? Because the definition of a marriage is gone. Therefore, anybody married under those marriages are invalid marriages. And therefore, children married out of invalid marriages are illegitimate children. What kind of an argument is this?
Your Lordship, the Council wants to argue that same-sex marriage or LGBTQ person are not included, are not interpreted, are not included in the Hindu Marriage Act.
That does not make the provision of law illegal, isn't it?
The Council wants to argue to the court that Section 4, Clause C of the Special Marriage Act should be declared unconstitutional because it specifically says that male and female. It specifically talks about the age of male and female.
Okay, we'll read it down and say both of them must be the same age. Finished. We'll read it down. Why? Even in Hindu marriages, it is there, 18 and 21. We'll read it down and say both will be 21. Finish. We'll sort it out. You will be nowhere the winner. That's not what you set out to gain, isn't it? You'll get a
The
degree which is not worth the seal on which it is typed. Proceed.
Your Lordship, the council also wants to mention a case, Abhijit Iyer Mitra and others versus Union of India 2020, and
For
this
what
court is pending before the Delhi High Court in order to recognize the right to marriage for same-sex marriage under Hindu Marriage Act.
That is what has come here now. We've withdrawn all that here. That is why we are hearing the matter, isn't it? Then
In this petition also, it was contended that the act does not distinguish between heterosexual and homosexual, and if one were to go by how it has been worded, it was clearly states that the marriage can be solemnized
let me
between two
ask
Hindus.
you this fundamental question. Should law stamp its authority on every human relationship?
Indeed not, Your Lordship.
Then why are we craving for a signature of some sub-registrar on my relationship?
But the members of LGBT community has faced certain discrimination, violence against their sexual orientation because of their gender identity, which can be curbed if we got legal recognition of their cohabitation, or if their
I don't
relationship.
think you burn a house to roast a pig.
Indeed, Your Lordship, the council wants to give some example, like intercaste marriages and interreligious marriages were prohibited.
They happen. They have problems. They survive. Tomorrow you will say, I must have a law which says a marriage between a Sindhi and a Sikh must be recognized under the Hindu Marriages Act. Day after tomorrow, you will say marriage between any two communities, one of whom is a Hindu, must be recognized under the Act. So we will now go into the Hindu Marriages Act, tinker with it, lock, stock, and barrel, and then say that is the law passed by the Parliament, right?
Indeed not, Your Lordship. The council hereby only wants to the court to read the Hindu Marriage Act to include the marriage of only Hindu LGBTQ community.
Okay,
like the marriage of,
so you're saying if there's an LGBT marriage between a Hindu male and a Muslim male, then this act will not apply. But if it is between a Hindu male and a Hindu male, only then it will apply.
Indeed, Your Lordship, the Hindu Marriage Act will only apply if there was two Hindu male and two Hindu female. Otherwise, if we want
are we going down the rabbit hole?
If we want to, if the male of Hindu or the male of Muslim wants to marry, then they can go according to provision of Special Marriage Act.
That is exactly
which is also contended.
I told you, madam. That is exactly what I told you some time ago. A Hindu male and a Hindu male can still go under the Special Marriages Act and get married.
Indeed, Your Lordship, they can go there, but these provisions are also not specifying, are not interpreting so far to include the marriage of LGBTQ community, and it was requested to the court to read the
Counts. That is your problem. You have taken the problem and the solution together in a single prayer. As a consequence of which, this court is asking you, why should I give you an additional solution when the solution lies alongside the problem? For which I'm waiting for an answer.
Your Lordship, the provisions of Special Marriage Act.
1 minute, I'll interrupt you. Is the court officer here? The court officer, please.
Yes, sir.
How long is each person's speech? 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Okay, I'll give her another 5 minutes because I have been interrupting. Proceed. Miss.
With your lordship permission, the council would like to proceed with issue number 2, whether or not civil rights can be granted to the members of LGBTQ community. It is humbly submitted by the council that petitioners to the petitioner to the court that civil rights should be granted to the members of LGBTQ
Who's not
community.
giving them? What civil rights?
Civil rights.
Firstly, 1 minute. Is there a grant of Civil Rights Act in the country?
No, there is not specific law to grant civil rights.
Therefore, where under whatever law civil rights emanate, there must be a disqualification under those emanating statutes to LGBT people. Otherwise, they have it. It's not a disqualification. For instance, can a live-in LGBT couple own property?
LGBT couple.
The answer is yes. Can a live-in LGBT couple contest an election? The answer is yes. Can a LGBT live-in couple go and get a driving license? The answer is yes. So what civil right of an LGBT couple has been rejected under the common law for me to grant you a relief under the second?
Right to marriage, right to surrogacy.
Therefore, what can't come through para 1 can't come to you through para 2, isn't it? If I reject your prayer in para 1, how do I grant it to you in para 2?
Civil rights includes right to marriage,
Unless
right to surrogacy, right to maintenance.
That unless you take the emblem of Indian justice, the lady with the eyes folded, and she's trying a braille answer, if one goes, 2 goes. If one comes, second is irrelevant.
Your lordship, the council wants to set here example of a professor whose video is leaked by the media involving
Allahabad
intercourse.
Allahabad University. Correct? Allahabad.
Indeed, your lordship.
Which is also made into a Hindi film. Manoj Bajpayee as the hero.
Council is not aware about that.
Proceed.
Where he was, his video is leaked. And
Council, I must again stop you. It is neither here nor there. It is as good as, or as bad as, or as acceptable as taking a photograph between, the name of the movie is Aligarh. It is, I'm not, Allahabad, it was the Aligarh Muslim University. Now, a personal photograph of 2 people, hetero or homo, in their preference, cannot be pictured and shown to anybody. It's a civil right to anybody. It is nobody's argument that while heterosexuality cannot be shown to public, homosexuality can be shown to public. That's nobody's argument. So where are you getting civil rights into it?
I want to refer that the professor because of this was dismissed from his employment.
That was illegal, set aside. That was set aside.
By this, the council wants that if the civil rights will be granted to the members of LGBT community, then their violence and discrimination would be lessened at all.
Please show me a single provision in the CCA or CCS rules or in the model standing orders which say that you will not get employment if you are married to somebody of the same sex, or if you belong to the larger LGBTQIA communities. If it does not say so, there is no denial of civil rights, as you put it. And in the absence of such denial, the question of grant of such rights will not arise.
Your
You may
Lordship,
start.
the moot preposition has cited 4 issues with which we have to deal with, and the issue is whether or not civil rights can be
So
granted.
your answer is you're dealing with this because you have to deal with it, correct?
Yes, Your Lordship.
Got you. Okay. Yes, you can conclude in the next 2-3 minutes.
The recognition granted to LGBT community through the Navtej Singh Johar case will get real meaning when the community secures the civil rights such as right to marriage, inheritance, adoption, maintenance, and surrogacy, etc. Your Lordship, it is submitted to the completely abolish the discrimination as contemplated by Article 15 of the Constitution faced by same-sex marriage.
How do I
There
completely do it? I go to everybody's house and say, we please contribute one person to the community.
Your Lordship, the LGBT community is a minority in our country,
Correct.
which the rights of it is a duty of the state and the court to protect their rights and to protect them from discrimination and violence which was faced by them because of
Correct.
their gender identity and sexual
Correct,
orientation.
correct. But is there a requirement under the law that a law shall be made to protect the minorities? In individual cases of its violation, you can always go to an appropriate court and seek appropriate legal remedies.
The council here not wants the court to legislate on the matter because it is not in the purview of the court. It is the legislative matter. The council only want to
Tell me
recognize
one
civil
more
rights
thing
of
before
the
you
community.
sign off. Tell me one more thing. Have you ever sent a lobby to Parliament and saying, please make a law like this? You're asking for
Your
mandamus.
Lordship,
You're asking for a mandamus.
Your Lordship, in 2016, a bill when the Uniform Civil Code was drafted by the Law Commission, the members of LGBT community has approached to the commission and for the recognition of their marriage under the Uniform Civil Code, but the same has not implemented due to certain reasons as stated by the Law Commission.
Therefore, your request has not been accepted by Parliament. How do I ask them to do it?
Your Lordship, the Uniform Civil Code which was framed in 2016 was not applicable in India so far because of some certain reasons. The Law Commission has recommended not to implement at
in
that
the
time.
next 2 minutes.
Indeed, Your Lordship. To support my contention, the council go with Nas Foundation versus NCT Delhi, where the court opined that the purpose underlying the fundamental rights against sex discrimination is to protect the behavior that breaks people differently for reason not to be being in conformity with the generalization concerning normal and natural gender roles. The council
I have
would
a
like to.
serious problem there, madam. I have a very, very, very serious problem there. And I come from the same place that the great German thinker spoke of. I am what I am, so take me as I am. Why is it that the LGBT community is apologetic about its preference? Why? If society does, it's like, adolescent love marriages. If they don't agree, go ahead, oppose, go get married. Simple as that. Now, the problem is because of just as 20 years, 30 years ago, intercaste marriage was not accepted and you required a degree of boldness. Today, the same thing is happening with an LGBT marriage that also will come to go. Why do you want a legislation in your bedroom? Yes. Are you concluded?
Your Lordship, the council wants to refer some Yogya Karta principle which prohibits any kind of discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. Article 1 of the said conference says that all
That's
human beings
applicable
are
for marriage
worthy.
also. Applicable for marriage also.
It was talking about right to marriage also, and all
Discrimination
the
on the
human rights.
basis of sex is now before a larger bench in a different matter with a recent order of review by a 7-judge bench in the Ayyappa temple case. How do we overrule that?
My pardon, your lordship, I am not getting your point.
That's all right. We seem to be running on parallel lines. Anything else? Good, you're not my judge. Yes, anything else?
I have submitted my argument for the day.
Thank you. Now let's go to the second participant, please.
May I please the court? I am the co-counsel on the behalf of the petitioner, and I am specifically dealing with the issue number 3 and 4. I would like to seek permission from your lordship to proceed with the issue number 3.
Yes.
Your lordship, the issue number 3 is that whether or not the customs, traditions, rights, rituals form an exhaustive code as contested by the Republic of Sacramento, it is humbly submitted by the counsel of the petitioner to the Honorable Court that although the custom, tradition, and rituals form an important...
How is it important?
Because it is an older source of law and our personal laws are based on it.
No. After a law is codified, its historicity becomes irrelevant. Unless, are you suggesting that there is custom, stroke tradition, stroke rights, stroke rituals, which fall within the broad parameters permissible under the Hindu Marriages Act for a marriage between LGBT community?
Your lordship, I would like I am referring here that the custom is an important source of law because our Hindu marriage, the provisions of our Hindu Marriage Act or various personal laws are based on the practices which are followed by the society from a long time, and we called as them custom. So I say that the custom is an important source of law.
Even after the law is codified?
Indeed, your lordship.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to
show me any judgment which says that once a law is codified, you will still read custom into it outside of the rights that emanate from the said statute?
Indeed not, your lordship. I would like to answer with the reason that in modern era, the rule of law and the constitution is considered
in the modern era. Let's look at custom. That's what
constitutional.
Madam, what is it you're saying? Hello, madam.
Yes, your lordship.
You're in a court. You're not in a soliloquy. I'm asking you a question.
Yes, your lordship.
The question was, in the modern era, you started off saying in the modern era, right?
Yes, your lordship.
So you're saying in modern era, let us look at customs.
I'm not getting your point, your lordship.
Okay, proceed.
Your lordship, in the present issue, I am contested that the custom, tradition, rites, and rituals doesn't form an existing code of law.
Will you stop reading? Don't read, argue.
Indeed, your lordship. First of all, I would like to mention a custom here. That custom is considered as the oldest source, and we defined as the uses observed by a large majority of people as a matter of habit, and its continuance has acquired a legally binding force on the society. But as stated by many jurists, that law changed according to the need of the society.
Correct. So, who said no?
Your lordship.
You want. That is the problem. You want to go to custom. Court is not saying go to custom. Government is not saying go to custom.
But your lordship, in the present issue, I am arguing that the custom, tradition, and ritual doesn't form an existing code of law. So I am referring here that the custom will be changed if it is not according to the needs of the society.
Madam, you are free to argue that the horse custom law would require recognition of a relationship in an LGBTQIA relationship. There's no difficulty in your premise. But that is not your argument. Your argument is whether they form an exhaustive code. Let us
Indeed,
assume they constitute an exhaustive code. Let's assume. Or they constitute an inclusive code. Then what happens? What is your solution to that?
Your lordship, I am arguing that it doesn't form an existing code. Existing means it is complete in
Okay,
itself.
according to you, it is inclusive, not exhaustive. So what?
I am saying here that because the LGBT community doesn't recognize under the Hindu laws and in both the acts of Hindu Marriage Act in 1955 and Special Marriage Act 1954. So under this issue, I am submitting here that the custom, rights, and ritual doesn't form an existing code because the LGBT community.
Agreed, madam. I have no problems with that proposition. So what should I do?
My
Nobody is arguing that custom, tradition, rites, and rituals admit to LGBTQI relationships as marriage. Nobody's argument. You're creating a dog and killing it. You're creating a ghost and killing it. I agree with you that it is not a part of custom. It's not a part of tradition. I agree with you that it is not exhaustive. So what follows?
Then it means that it doesn't form an existing code of law.
Correct, agreed.
Then it means if you are agree, your lordship, then my argument is nullified here, and I'm proved here that it doesn't form an existing code of law.
Correct. Therefore, what should I do? Go to parliament, not to the court.
But your lordship, I am just to prove that, and just to give the court's opinion and to declare that it doesn't form an existing code, so that the legislature would.
Sorry, madam, my opinion can only be the instance of the President of India. This does not come to me as a referral from the Honorable President of India. It comes as writ petitions in different high courts, all transferred to this Honorable Court. Therefore, you will show me my power to legislate in that area where either the parliament is silent or the parliament is consciously silent.
Indeed, not your lordship. I am not saying that the judiciary should legislate it. I am just saying that if something is unreasonable practice and it is discriminatory, like I would like to support my contention here with a case law that is in Sabrimala case. The Supreme Court has struck down an old practice which prohibit the entry of a woman of a particular age.
That is under review.
So because the in this case because in this case the court also stop an undated and invalidate a custom, so the court can invalidate this statement that the custom, traditions, rites, and rituals form an existing code of law.
Can it? Can it?
I don't understand your question, my
Just as I don't understand your proposition.
Your lordship, I am saying here that as in Sabrimala case, the Supreme Court
Sabrimala is not good law, madam. It is being reviewed. It's before a review court, isn't it?
My pardon, your lordship. Your lordship, I am saying that the court can, I am not saying that court should legislate it. I am saying that if outdated custom is illogical and it is not complied with the today's society, then court can declare and invalidate it, so that legislature will alter those laws.
Proceed.
To further support my contention, I would like to mention a case, Navtej Johar versus Union of India. The CJI Deepak Mishra.
One minute, please.
Okay, Raj.
Yes, proceed.
In this case, the CJI Deepak Mishra remarked that Constitution is a tool to transform our society, and constitutional morality supersedes any custom or tradition. So it is unnecessary that a custom which is valid a century ago will
Agreed,
valid
agreed.
today.
Who said no?
So I
This
am
court
just
is not approving any custom. This court is not giving its seal of approval to any custom, tradition, rite, ritual, nothing. It's doing nothing of that kind.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Then,
but I am submitted here that because the LGBTQ community doesn't recognized under this code, so we can't say it an existing code, and court should declare it that it is not from an existing code of law. The replement of country doesn't form an existing code of law, so that legislature take some suitable steps in for the welfare of the LGBTQ community.
agreed. Go to the legislature. I have no problems with you going anywhere else.
Your Lordship, by this I am submitting my argument of issue number 3, and I would like to proceed with the issue number 4.
Okay.
Indeed, thank you, Your Lordship. It is issue number 4 is that whether or not the members from the said community can be allowed to be married as per the rituals of their respective religion. It is humbly submitted before this court that the same-sex marriage are not
One
legally.
minute. 1 minute. Whether something should happen in accordance with the ritual of a certain religion, how do we decide it?
Your
Who are
Lord,
we to decide that? It is for the men who execute the ritual, isn't it? I have no authority on, this court has no authority on rituals. We don't have the physics to metaphysicize the rituals of any religion. How do we say this is a valid ritual, an invalid ritual, follow it, don't follow it?
indeed, Your Lordship, I am not. Your Lordship, I'm not saying here that the court should declare some rituals invalid, wrong, or some rituals are right, but it's just a one word that is existing code, and it is not from an existing code with the customs, traditions, and rituals.
That's
I'm
not what your
arguing.
prayer is. Please read your prayer.
Okay, indeed, Your Lordship.
Whether or not members from the same community, said community, can be allowed to be married as per the rituals of their respective religions. Therefore, I need to adjudicate on rituals of their respective religions. Who am I? What knowledge do I have? What is my wherewithal
Your Lordship, I'm saying
to
that
extend to anybody something like this? I'll give you a simple example. I'll give you a very, very crude example. Suppose in a certain, in Hindu, I'll give you a very stark example. In a Hindu marriage, there are certain rituals that only a married Hindu lady must do for the young couple. Can we interfere and say, no, any lady should do it? Can I?
no, indeed not, Your Lordship.
What if I can't do that? How can I do this?
I am saying here that, Your Lordship, that because in Hindu Marriage Act 1955, we have given the right to the Hindus to marry as per their respective religion. If they marry inter.
Very simple question I'm asking you. Please address the question. How does the court deal with directing certain kinds of rituals to be applicable to certain category of people. How do I do it? Who am I? I'm not an ecclesiastic court, isn't it?
Indeed, your lordship. I am just saying to the court to interpret the provisions like it. I'm not saying to legislate the provisions.
6 o'clock. 1 minute, sir. Just 1 minute. All right. Yeah, proceed.
Your lordship, I am just saying that to interpret the provisions like it, that the LGBT community should also perform their marriage as per their rituals.
Who
I'm not
stopped?
saying to legislate.
Who stopped you? Did anybody stop?
But your lordship, there is not legally, they have not legally recognized, their marriage have
What?
not legally
Legally
recognized.
recognized what? Ceremonies.
Like, no, your lordship. Indeed, not your lordship. Your lordship,
I'm asking you, what ritual do you want this court to recognize now? Who should recognize the ritual?
your lordship, I am not saying here that the court should recognize the rituals. I am just simply saying here that as like if two Hindus have right to marry in under the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, and their marriage
if
have
I
legally
don't,
recognized.
if I don't agree with one, you will con me in 4.
Indeed, not your lordship. I am just saying that you are, your lordship, you said that no one stops LGBT community to marry. But I am saying here that, your lordship, because the, hello, am
Yes.
I audible?
Very audible.
I am saying here that because the LGBTQ communities have their marriage hasn't legally recognized, they faced many problems in the society because society sees them as a vile and doesn't accept them. So they face violence. So court should take some safeguards towards them, so that they can freely marry.
Madam, that's not my job. Go and ask the executive for it. How do I don't execute this country, I don't run the country, isn't it? Tomorrow, let's take an example. You buy a property. You are not able to safeguard the property. You'll come to the court or you'll go to the executive?
I'll go to the executive, your lordship.
Yeah.
Your lordship, I would like to mention a case here. In 2011.
Sorry, ma'am, 1 minute, 1 minute. No. Yes, proceed.
In 2011, a Haryana court granted legal recognition to the same-sex marriage involving two women, and they are from a village, and they both are childhood best friends, and one of them act like a bride and the other like a bridegroom, and they had married, and their family opposed them.
Why
and
one should be like bride and one should be bridegroom? Why can't it be bride or groom marriage?
Your lordship, because marriage is considered between a bride and a bridegroom.
There you come to the whole point. Therefore, by merely calling a bride as bridegroom, they become bridegroom, is it? If you are unwilling to move out of that space, that a marriage requires a bride and a bridegroom, how can you get this relief?
Because your lordship, it is nowhere mentioned that a bride should be only a female and the bridegroom should only be a male.
Please read your English grammar, go to a lexicon and you will know what it says. Bride means female, bridegroom means male.
Pardon me, your lordship.
Yes, you have another 2 minutes.
Your lordship, I would like to mention American Psychological Association's view here. It is urged that the American Psychological Association has opined that the sexual orientation is a natural condition and attraction toward the same sex or opposite sex are both naturally.
Agreed.
The only difference being that the same-sex attraction is in far lesser number. A person belonging to the said community doesn't become an alien to the concept of the individual and his
Okay.
individualism.
What
So we have to.
What is the point you want to drive home from the
So-
American psychologists community?
Under this, your lordship, I am saying that I am supporting my contention that like other individuals normally have a right to marriage under their religion, the LGBT community should also grant the right to marriage.
Who's stopping you?
The society will
So you want
not,
me to go to society and ask society?
no, indeed not, your lordship.
You want me to make a judgment which cannot be enforced?
Indeed not, your lordship.
Okay, your conclusions?
I would I would like to mention some statements here. The opponents of the same-sex marriage often argue that the children raised in the same-sex household perform worse. In 2005, the American Psychological Association released brief reviewing in the research that the same-sex parenting is not worse, and not a single study has found that the children of lesbian or gay parents to be disadvantaged in any significant respect
How
related
do you
to
have children in same-sex marriage?
adoptive children, your lordship.
So adoptive children is a wholly different concept.
But your lordship, the opponents of the in various cases, it has been
This is
seen that
nobody's case over here, madam. Why are you raising a bogey? Did anybody come and tell you that we don't want same-sex marriage because the children in that family will be unnatural or whatever? Nobody said that.
Pardon your lordship, but I am saying that.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have anything more to say? Your
Your
time is
lordship,
up.
I would like to proceed with the prayer.
Yes, thank you. Your prayers are there. Thank you. The prayers at the top. No, therefore, custom, tradition, are not an exhaustive part of the code, and members of the said community should be allowed marriage.
Okay.
Respondents.
The council seeks permission to approach the dais.
Welcome, Ripwan Winkle.
Greetings to the bench.
Yes,
Audible, Your
Ripwan
Lordship?
Winkle, start.
Yeah. If it may please this honorable court, this is the council appearing on behalf of the respondent in the case of Rainbow Non-Profit Organization versus
You're appearing
Republic of
for whom?
Replimento. Rainbow, I'm representing the Republic of Replimento. In the case of Rainbow Non-Profit Organization versus Republic.
You're representing whom?
The respondents, Your Lordship.
Who is the respondent?
Republic of Replimento, Your Lordship.
Republic.
Indeed, Your
Go
Lordship.
ahead.
If Your Lordship is well versed with the facts and jurisdiction of the case,
Yes.
the council seeks permission.
Even if I'm not, proceed.
Indeed, Your Lordship. The first issue pertains to whether the Hindu Marriage Act and Special Marriage Act can be read in a manner to include the members of the said community. This issue is to be contended in a twofold manner. Firstly, the legislative intent of the acts do not include LGBTQ individuals.
Where do you gather that from? Where do you gather that? Where do you gather that the legislative intent is non-inclusive?
Your Lordship, we can infer this from the parliamentary debates that were that happened during the enactment of the Hindu Code, where it was said that the
does it say same-sex? Are there references to same-sex marriages there?
Your Lordship, marriage in Hindu religion is considered to be a sacrament. It is
Where do
one
you
of the
get
10
that?
sanskaras.
Where do you get that?
It was quoted by.
What is the law? What is the law? Once rights are codified in a statute, do you go beyond it?
Your Lordship, marriage, as the council contended, is a sacrament and it's based on customs, traditions, which dates back to thousands of years.
Council, I don't want a lecture on marriages. I asked you a legal question. Give me that. I asked you, once a law is codified, unless the content of that code is unclear, do I go beyond the statute?
Your Lordship, the need is to be considered by taking into consideration the precedents that have had existed on the particular matter. As the council will elaborately contend in further issues, that marriage is a societal structure. It comprises of certain other parts of it. It's not
Marriage
just
is
based on a
what?
statutory.
Marriage is what? A social.
Marriage is a
societal?
public recognition that is that comprises of a societal
30
structure.
years ago, marriage between two inter-community or inter-religion was not accepted. So those marriages are not existent, is it?
Marriage.
Are you saying that human action will wait for societal acceptance before anything happens? It's the most skewed argument I've heard in a lifetime.
Your Lordship, this is what it is. Like the society is not ready for this change as of now.
And therefore, there will be no legislation. You were not, the society
Lordship,
is not ready with a law for dowry prohibition. Why did
it's
you
upon.
make that law?
Indeed, Your
Society
Lordship,
was not ready for matters relating to sexual abuse in places of work. Why did you make that law? Society was not ready for sati. Why did you make that law? I'll give you 40 more examples.
Your Lordship, societal
as a state with a preamble that talks so highly, is it not your responsibility to be an inclusive constitution?
Your Lordship, there is a legitimate state interest in limiting
And
the
what
marriages
is
only to
this
heterosexual
attitude
institutions.
of a government saying that this is not acceptable to us? That is in violation of an order of this court.
Your Lordship, the council would contend it by putting an assumption. If the court recognizes this particular contention that has been put forth by the petitioners, who will, if the legislature is not willing to legislate upon the matter, who will the court held in contempt? Will it be the parliamentarians? Will it be the secretary of the Lord of Ministry?
That was not your argument. You're moving. Stick to your first argument.
Your Lordship,
unless you've given up your first argument.
The council has not given up the first argument, Your Lordship. The council
first
stands
convince
firmly
me on that. Your argument is,
Your Lordship. Yeah.
The first argument is that marriage requires social acceptance. Today, we are unwilling to accept the marriage of people in the LGBTQIA community, and therefore it is not a valid marriage. Stick to that argument first.
Your Lordship, the social acceptance comes from the society. And as it has been held in the case of Aman Goya, Amina versus Hassan Goya, that marriage needs public recognition. Then if the court, marriage requires public recognition as it is a public concept, which has been held in the case of Amina
How
versus
does the
Hassan
public
Goya.
recognition come? Public recognition comes by a statute. You will recognize it. People will have no choice but to recognize it.
Your Lordship, if
which gallery are you playing to?
Your Lordship, the thing is,
council, which traditional archaic gallery are you playing to? There is a judgment of this court which says that a relationship between persons of the same sex, rare as it may be, is accepted. If it is accepted, why should it not be formalized?
Your Lordship, the judgment that Your Lordship is referring to does not legitimize the conduct, does not legitimize the civil union.
It decriminalizes. What does it mean?
Decriminalizes does not mean legitimizing and giving the civil rights to the community.
What is the difference? You will tell me the difference.
There is recognition and there is
all
granting
that is not
between the
bad
rights.
Is good. All that is not bad is acceptable.
Your Lordship, the council would also contend before the Honorable Court to take into consideration the other allied legislations that are related to marriage, such as the Domestic Violence Act and Section 498 of IPC. Yes. And there are certain other legislation as such.
All of them are connected to matrimony. All of them are connected to marriage. First, there must be a marriage. After marriage, all those enactments come into being. So don't take the question. It's not a chick egg scenario.
The point is, Your Lordship, the marriage requires it to be heterosexual in nature. It's heteronormative in nature.
Where do you get that from, young man?
Your
Are you
Lordship,
talking, if you're talking of your personal preference and my personal preference, it's a different matter. We are
Lordship,
talking about a social issue. You represent the state.
Your Lordship, the council would refer to Section 5 of Hindu Marriage Act and Section 4 of
Yes,
Special
what does
Marriage
it say?
Act. The bride who is at least of 18 years of age and a bridegroom who is of 21 years of age. And if we look at
where does it say? Where does it say? Therefore, if there are two grooms, both of them will be 21. If there are two brides, both of them will be 18. What's the problem?
Your Lordship, bride and bridegroom has been specified in the Black's Law Dictionary, which has been quoted in Arun Kumar judgment, which is a
I agree
2019
with you.
judgment.
I'm not saying
And-
bride. Credit me with a little more common sense. I'm not saying the moment a bride calls herself bridegroom, she becomes bridegroom. No. You went to Section 5 of the statute, correct? What does Section 5 say? Why did you go to Section 5?
To specify that it's heterosexual in nature, as the Lordship said, where does it say that the marriage intends to be heteronormative?
Where does it say it should be heterosexual?
It can be inferred from reading this particular provision, Your Lordship.
No.
And aligning it with the other allied legislation.
The marriage shall be between two Hindus. That's all it says.
But it, as Your Lordship put forth this question before the petitioners, that a particular legislation cannot be interpreted in isolation. The whole legislation should be taken into consideration, as well as the other allied legislation.
Which is the provision which is in conflict with that? What is in conflict with the first part?
Your Lordship, as the petitioners are contending that the person should be read in a manner to include the LGBTQ individuals, to which the respondents say that it's already a heteronormative contention, or it's a heteronormative concept. So how can a homosexual...
That's begging the question. Where in the language employed in the statute do you get this homophobia?
The word "and" between the bride and the bridegroom, and 18 years of age, and bridegroom of who's 21 and above. And this word is very of utmost importance here.
You will satisfy both the conditions. You will not, it's in the negative. You will not stand disqualified for either of them. Therefore, the grooms shall be 21, the girls shall be 18. That's all.
Bride and a bridegroom is also attached to the age.
To our marriage, no. Where do you get that?
Your Lordship, it is very much even it can be understood from reading of Section 12 of Hindu Marriage Act that provides for a marriage to be.
Read it. Read Section 12.
Indeed, Your Lordship. It provides for a marriage to be voidable if it has not been consummated by.
Please wait. Bino? Just give me a minute.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Hindu Marriages Act. Hindu Marriages Act. Hindu Marriages Act. Yes, Counsel. You may proceed. You may proceed.
Indeed, Your Lordship. For this, the council put forth the contention that was put in the case of Samar Roy Chaudhary versus Snigdha Roy Chaudhary, which
you wanted me to see Section 12.
Yeah, Section 12, yes, indeed, Your Lordship. So if a marriage can be termed voidable if it has not been consummated by peno-vaginal means, which in itself shows that the
any marriage solemnized, 1 minute.
Indeed.
Any marriage solemnized, whether before or after the commencement of this act, shall be voidable.
Voidable, Your Lordship.
Yes, it doesn't make it void. So finished. Why are we going there? So it's a choice between the two of them. Voidable is an election, isn't it? It's not a disqualification.
As the council also put forth the case of Samar Roy Chaudhary versus Snigdha Chaudhary, the marriage is to be considered the outside of valid marriage. It cannot be termed to be a valid marriage in any sense.
Council, you went to Section 12 of the Act. What is voidable is something which is a matter of election between parties.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Nobody is saying that in an LGBT marriage, one cannot opt out of the marriage. Nobody is saying that. Therefore, Section 12 is a needless picnic you are taking me on.
But it can be inferred, Your Lordship, if we look at
Why
the
will I?
penovaginal means of
Because
the consummation of
I
marriage.
will not. I'll tell you why I will not. I'll give you the legal reason why. The legal reason is the voidability of a marriage by election is an individual choice. The fact that it is an individual choice makes it outside the bounds of the institution. Therefore, I as an institution will not go into an area where I am barred by a statute.
Your Lordship, if Your Lordship is not taking this matter into consideration, the Lordship should definitely look at the other acts that are related to marriage and resort to the purposive interpretation, which clearly lays down it to be heteronormative in nature.
Come again?
Yeah,
I
Your
didn't get your
Lordship,
last phrase.
the purposive interpretation of the allied legislations to marriage, such as Section
Allied?
498 of allied legislations to marriage,
Hmm.
such as Section 498A of IPC, or even the
That
Domestic
will not
Violence Act
apply
that says
in a marriage of this kind. As simple as that.
the council didn't get Your Lordship.
I
Apologies.
said, if you can't get the tail to wag the body, correct? That kind of interpretation will not help. The day I go to 498A to decide what is a marriage, we are creating a joke out of interpretation of statute.
Your Lordship, the point being that the even if the marriage, even if the person is read in a manner that the petitioners are seeking, how will the other sections that this council is contended will be altered? It is outside the adjudication of the judicial interpretation to be done so. There are a number of legislations that are to be changed, which definitely, according to the principle of separation of powers, it falls within the.
I don't know. The fact that multiple legislations will require consequential change is no ground for me not to change this law. And I'm not even changing the law. I'm only reading it out.
Your Lordship,
you will do your backward engineering and fine tune your other legislations if necessary, Mr. Government.
Your Lordship, it's being read. It should be read as a whole, not in isolation, just looking at one particular content.
The subsequent or the supplementary legislations will not govern the parent legislation. You agree with me on that proposition of law?
Your Lordship, marriage being a vast concept, it should be not looked at in the manner that the Lordship is proposing. The council would differ on that aspect.
Where are you? That is why I said that my first sentence when you started your argument, Mr. Counsel, was, "Good evening, Rip Van Winkle." You've heard of Rip Van Winkle?
Apologies, Your Lordship, about that.
Rip Van Winkle went to sleep for 20 years when the world was awake. He is
That's
the
something good
English
for the council
equivalent to Kumbhakarna. Proceed.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Proceed.
That's a good takeaway for this council from Your Lordship. Indeed, Your Lordship. Therefore, in light of the arguments that has already been advanced in the present issue, the petitioner's claim for interpreting the term person to include LGBTQ communities against the word of the aforementioned legislations, and hence the marriage between the LGBT community cannot be termed valid. So if Your Lordship is satisfied with the present issue, the council seeks permission to move on to the next issue at hand.
Please do. Independent of whether I'm convinced or not, go.
Indeed, Your Lordship. The second issue pertains to whether civil rights can be granted to the members of the community. This issue is to be contended in a twofold manner. Firstly, limitation on civil marriages or of to be heterosexual in nature arises from a legitimate state interest. Secondly, granting of civil rights is a legislative function. Starting with the first sub-issue, legitimate
Your
state interest.
legislative function, you fail. And we as the court will blink. You want us also to go down in history as non-starters if the government is asleep?
Your Lordship, again,
What
the
happened in the
council
case of Vishaka? Who woke up first?
Your Lordship,
We
what
did.
if the court, indeed, Your Lordship, that was a very important matter. However, the present case, if the legislation refuses to take
Counsel,
into
are
the
you
orders of the
telling me, before you go ahead with this argument, has it been a conscious decision of the parliament not to make this law?
Your Lordship, taking the personal laws into consideration and the statutory laws where the homosexuality is nowhere explicitly mentioned, it can be inferred from the cultural ethos of the country that the parliament is not willing to legislate on this particular matter as of now.
Suppose we take the plea that the privative culture will give way to a more robust or a more tolerant culture. And therefore we read the enactments to be inclusive, then what happens?
Your Lordship, the council would contend to this matter by referring to the legitimate state interest, which specifies for legitimate state interest in limiting such concept of inclusiveness.
Legitimate state interest in marriage. You
Indeed,
are
Your Lordship.
Bedrooms
In
now.
limiting, Your Lordship, marriage as the council contended is a public concept and needs public recognition, and it cannot be brought down to one one personal domain.
Justify yourself.
Furthermore, indeed, Your Lordship, there are three essentials that are need to be met in the legitimate state interest. Firstly, that there must be a law in existence to justify an encroachment. Secondly, it mandates a legitimate
The
state
Act is
aim.
there. The Hindu Marriages Act is there.
Indeed, Your
This
Lordship.
is marriage between two Hindus.
Hence, the first essential is already met, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
it, there's a name.
Yes.
Secondly, there's a legitimate state aim which ensures that the restriction that is put on the legislature fall within the ambit of reasonableness. To this, the council contends the test of palpable
Where do
arbitrariness.
you get that from? Where do you get the second test from?
It is derived from the
You
Article
have
14.
the power
Indeed,
while you classify under 14,
Indeed,
15,
Indeed,
16, whatever. When you classify, to make such classification where there is a reasonable nexus with the criteria sought to be achieved. What is the objective criteria and what is the nexus in your classification? Please tell me.
Your Lordship, the object is to
Stop
propose marriages.
marriage. You'll give him 5 more minutes, please. 5 more minutes. Yes.
Much obliged, Lordship. The object of the act is to provide for marriages between two Hindus who are heterosexual couples.
Where do you get that? Where do you get that from?
Your Lordship, it can be inferred from the other contents that is made.
Don't smuggle words into a statute.
Your Lordship, if we look into the unreasonable classification that the Your Lordship is contending here
We're
for
not
not
going on
being
the ground that it's an unreasonable classification at all. We are saying the legislature is not at all declassified. There's no classification according to the legislation is what the petitioners are contending.
Your Lordship, if that's the matter, then there is no need. Then there is there's no unreasonable between unreasonableness under Article 14, and hence the petitioners claim
It's unreasonable. They are saying read it as reasonable. What is their prayer? It must be read in a manner to be inclusive.
That's their first prayer, Your Lordship. The second prayer says that they are to be granted civil rights.
Correct. If the first is
Your
granted,
Lordship.
doesn't the second follow?
Your Lordship, there are certain other, as contended, other legislation that are related to marriage and like the right to surrogacy, right to adoption, which cannot be granted to the members of the LGBTQ community.
Why?
Because there is legitimate state interest. That's what the
Come again?
counsel for the
Come
respondent.
again?
There is
Under
legitimate
the
state
CARA
interest.
guidelines, under the CARA guidelines, is adoption between two same-sex parents held illegal? CARA guidelines have stemmed out of this court, isn't it?
Indeed, Your
Lakshmikant
Lordship.
Pandey's case.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Okay. Where do you get
The
it
council
from?
is a bit unaware of such matter, which will further be contended if it's looked into.
I
further.
always appreciate a youngster who comes and tells the court, I'm not aware. You get brownie points. Good, go ahead.
Indeed, Your Lordship. As mentioned, the legitimate state interest is being fulfilled due to the test of palpable arbitrariness.
This is something I'm not able to understand. What is this legitimate state interest if a girl marries another girl?
Your Lordship, there are certain social exigencies which needs to be taken into consideration in this particular case.
Social
And
what?
marriage, social exigencies.
Social what?
Exigency.
Exigency.
And it means to look at the ultimate need of the legislation and the society and how inclusive it is as of now. Just after the Navteej Singh Johar judgment, the
Why are
LGBTQ
all of us
individuals have
living
already
down the
been
rabbit hole?
recognized.
Why are all of us living down the rabbit hole?
Your Lordship,
What's the rabbit hole?
The council begs pardon on this issue. Your Lordship.
You read the book Alice in Wonderland? She's
Apologies,
dreaming,
Your
she
Lordship.
goes down the hole with where the rabbits are. And we live in one fanciful world.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Ice cream, chocolate, like Madhuri Dixit would sing in Hum Aapke Hain Kaun.
The council begs pardon for that issue, Your Lordship. However, as the council said, marriage cannot be put into one particular private domain. It needs to be looked throughout the society and how acceptable the society is of that matter, which in the present issue cannot be granted to the members of the LGBTQ community because it is restricted
I
only
get
to
a
heterosexual
feeling,
couples.
government leader,
Indeed,
that I'm not listening to a council of a sovereign republic. I'm listening to the council of the Tsar of Russia.
Your
Cannot
Lordship,
be done, shall not be done, state interest.
Your Lordship, indeed, it's the duty of the court to uphold the rights of the individuals. However, when it comes to legislating particular laws, it is up to the legislature to do so.
And when the legislature does so, we have the wherewithal
And there is,
to tinker with it in the manner our constitution expertise allows us to.
indeed, Your Lordship. However, if
Thank you.
Apologies, Your Lordship.
Proceed.
Go
Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just being
Lordship,
sarcastic. Go ahead.
Apologies, Your Lordship. So, even if the court provides the guidelines for this issue, who will the court held in contempt if the guidelines are not being followed by the legislature? Will it be?
I'll answer that question. Very
Speaker?
simple. I'll answer that question. Very simple. The
Indeed,
state
Your Lordship.
is answerable to this court through the chief secretary or the head of the state executive. We'll hog the daylights out of him for contempt.
However, Lordship, the chief secretary can do little in formulating the laws because it is
You
up to
will
the
make.
legislature to pass.
I'm not asking you to make a law. We are not going to ask you to make a law. Sorry. We are aware of our limitations. We will never ask you to make a law.
Indeed,
We
Your
will
Lordship.
answer prayer number 1 in their favor, then what happens? You
Your
will
Lordship, the
face
legislature will look
multiple
into that matter.
litigation in every court on every civil right. We will fight it then and there. We'll answer one in their favor. Everything falls like a pack of cards.
Indeed, Your Lordship. However, as contended by the council, the first issue is also not to be taken into consideration because of the legislative intent that can be seen through the parliamentary debates and even certain provisions and the certain allied legislations related to the institution of marriages. Hence, the court should definitely look into matters.
Which judgment?
In Your Lordship.
After decriminalization happened, said that marriage between the two is illegal. In fact,
Your Lordship.
even in the earlier judgment of Justice Singhvi, he did not go the whole path on the decriminalization. He only said that the Mumbai High Court was wrong because it amounted to it legislating on the matter. That was the path it took. It did not say LGBT was illegal. It said it was not for the
recognized.
Court to declare it.
Yeah, indeed, Your Lordship.
But that is no longer good law, so we don't have to go.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Yes. Anything else?
If Your Lordship is satisfied with the arguments, may the present council call upon the
Even if
second
I'm
council.
not, we'll go to the names.
Your Lordship, there's one more point that the council
Please.
forgot about to
Yeah,
mention.
please.
The moot in the moot proposition, it's mentioned that the grant of civil a petition was filed for the grant of civil rights, which was ultimately dismissed by the court. So, the court should take that matter into consideration as well. Had the matter been so important, the court would have already provided for some judgment on that matter, which was ultimately dismissed. So, this can be inferred from the precedent that has already been set by the court.
All right, got you there. Heard you there.
Much obliged, Your Lordship.
Yes.
May the present council call upon the co-council, Your
Yes,
Lordship, for the present.
yes.
Much obliged, Your Lordship.
Greetings to the bench. If Your Lordship is satisfied with the arguments advanced by my co-counsel, the present council seeks permission to move to the remaining two contentions at hand.
Yes, Viva, we go ahead.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. The first contention that this council on behalf of the respondent would put forth pertains to.
Who do you represent?
Apologies, Your Lordship.
Who are the respondents in the matter?
Your Lordship, we represent the Republic of Rapplamento, the state here.
I'm asking you, in the array of parties in the case, who are the respondents?
Your Lordship, the respondent is the representative of the state.
Single respondent.
Your Lordship, we represent the state.
Asking you, in the array of parties, is there a single respondent or multiple respondents?
Single respondent, Your Lordship.
Single respondent. Single.
Lordship? Yes, Your Lordship, single.
Okay, proceed then.
So the first contention here pertains to whether or not customs, traditions, rites, and rituals form an exhaustive code. And the council on behalf of the respondent here contends that they do form an exhaustive code, mainly because the state cannot intervene in religious practices. Your Lordship, an exhaustive code is basically defined as an enclosed system, which does not invite any external interference. In fact, in the case of Punjab Land Development and Reclamation Corporation versus the presiding officer of labor, the term exhaustive itself was interpreted to mean that no other definition or no other interpretation to a particular concept will be forthcoming unless it is the hard and fast definition which is assigned to it itself.
How
Your
is it
Lordship,
relevant?
The relevance here, Your Lordship, is that the council is bringing a little structure to her debate in terms of defining the meaning of exhaustive.
No, I'm saying you're moving. No, I'm saying that the petitioners themselves are moving into needless territory. Therefore, a context in the needless is further needless. Right? I am saying, and I want your response to this.
Yes.
There is a statute. A statute sometimes codifies custom, tradition, rites, rituals. Alongside these, it also codifies goals, requirements, ideal scenarios, etc., etc.
Yes, Your Lordship.
The the day the statute comes into being, all the ingredients in the statute no longer require independent existence. In my masala, I'm not saying whether there is enough cinnamon, whether there is enough patta, is there enough long, is there enough clove, is there enough ilaichi. I'm not looking at all that. I have a ready-made garam masala, I use the garam masala. That's all.
Yes, Your Lordship.
That's also why should I go into whether it is exhaustive or not exhaustive?
Because, Your Lordship, the contention as
Are
put
you
forth by the
contending? Are you contending that the Hindu Marriages Act is only a reflection of custom, tradition, rite, and ritual, and therefore it is exhaustive?
Your Lordship, while it is not entirely based on customs, traditions, and rites and
Then
rituals,
finish.
there.
That argument is then that argument goes. It's theoretical.
But Your Lordship, the council would like to add another point to the previous sentence that she made, stating that, but Your Lordship, customs, traditions, rites, and rituals, they shape a law. They are given the force of law under Article 13 of the Constitution.
Correct. Agreed.
Yes, Your Lordship, and also Your Lordship, because it is a marriage law that we're dealing with. Marriage itself is a sacrament, Your Lordship. So here, yes, Your Lordship.
Custom, tradition, all of that is recognized as law. Agreed. Article 12. Right. Now your argument is that the Hindu Marriages Act is that unit of recognition of all these factors. Are you saying, that is why I'm asking you again, are you saying that the 1955 enactment is a code of custom, tradition, rites, and rituals?
Your Lordship, the council believes that it's an amalgamation of customs, traditions, rites, and rituals as well. Because
very good argument. Now show me 3 rituals in the act.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. In the section 7 of the HMA, which talks about solemnization of marriage, the first, I think the first subclause speaks about Saptapadi, which is an essential ceremony for solemnization of the marriage. And the second proviso clause, if I'm not wrong, Your Lordship, states that if there are certain customs wherein these communities do solemnize their marriage with any other custom as per their beliefs.
So apart from Saptapadi, you are talking of no other ritual.
Your Lordship, this is a very plural. Yes, Your Lordship.
Because you are codifying a ritual, it can't be one, isn't it?
Your Lordship, the Hindu Marriage Act in itself, in section 7, the second part of it.
No doubt that that's an enactment. I'm only catching you, holding you to your argument that it is a collection of rituals. I can name 22.5 Hindu marriage rituals across cultures which are not mentioned in the statute.
Your Lordship, what the statute aims to do is, the council will give 2 examples to substantiate.
Let me ask you, suppose the Saptapadi is done without a fire. I stand before a magistrate and take the 7 promises. Is it a ritual under the Hindu Marriages Act?
Your Lordship, if their custom does, I mean, if they are.
I'm saying, therefore, that is not a ritual. We are now going into another word called custom. We use both the words independent of one another. Custom, comma, ritual, comma, rites, comma, right?
Which is why, Your Lordship, the council contended that it's an amalgamation of the 2. Just to elucidate on the point a little more, Your Lordship. For instance, prohibited degrees of relationship.
Is it a physical amalgamation or a chemical amalgamation?
Your Lordship.
Because I'm sure you know, a physical amalgamation is when the characteristics of that amalgamation remain independent of one another. In a chemical amalgamation, by virtue of the amalgamation, the characteristics of the amalgamants alter.
Your lordship, so while one is independent of the other because there are so many
Therefore, it's a
plural.
physical amalgamation. Show me the rituals.
Yes, your lordship. So your lordship,
Go
what
ahead,
the
go ahead,
council.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Much obliged, your lordship. So, your lordship, what the council here is intending to state is that there are Riplemento is a secular nation, your lordship. It has many religions that is there within its boundary, and it is the duty of the state to protect every single religion that is within its boundary without
No,
interfering in any.
not at all. Not at all. On the other hand, I strongly believe that you must stay completely away from religion. You are not an American constitution. You are not a British law. You are not a German constitution. You are a secular constitution.
Yes, your lordship.
And to those of you who came in late and said secular was added to the constitution in the 42nd Constitution Amendment, that is also incorrect, because secular features of the Indian Constitution are there in the original Constitution. Read Article 13, 14, 15, 22, 23, etc.
Yes, your lordship. The council here is referring to a case called Vasudev versus Vamanji, wherein it was stated that while the Replamento's model of secularism mainly revolves around protecting every single religion, but without interfering in any. This is because your lordship. Yes, your lordship. Yes, your lordship. So further elucidating on that point, is the reason this was done, your lordship, was to protect the basic structure of the doctrine. In the case of SR Bommai versus Union of India, principles of secularism was recognized to be a part of the basic structure of the
Bommai
constitution.
dealt with basic structure of constitution, not basic structure of marriage.
Yes, your lordship. Again, establishing that link here is because, as the council already stated, that religion is shaped by customs and also rites and rituals, and marriage itself has many customary practices.
Show me in the Hindu Marriages Act a ban on LGBTQIA marriage.
Your lordship,
For me to accept this argument of yours is accepted. I'll accept your argument completely, provided you show me that the ban or the no entry board, trespassers will be prosecuted, caution, lies within the statutory grammar of the Hindu Marriages Act.
Much obliged, your lordship. The law, if the council would like to take 3 instances. Firstly, this is just a reiteration of what my co-counsel has stated. So, firstly, your lordship, there is the necessity for there to be a bride and the bridegroom. It says the bride and the bridegroom, which is why, your lordship, there must be the bride of the day, which when taken from the Black's Law Dictionary, which was reiterated in the Arun Kumar judgment, that it's the woman on the day in which she's getting married, and the bridegroom is the man on the day he's getting married. And the presence of the term "and" signifies that the both of them must be present for the marriage to take place.
No. Please go to section 5.
Yes, your lordship. Yes, your lordship. So, your lordship,
Let me ask you one question.
Definitely, your lordship.
Suppose the statute had said, and 2 witnesses who are aged above 30.
Yes, your lordship.
Right? Let us take that example. Now, will you say that "and" over there refer to bride and bridegroom?
The "and" in the when you add a clause of "and witnesses"?
Correct. No.
No, your lordship, what the
council... Wait. You said no, correct. Now go back to that. Read the sentence. Now read it.
Your lordship, verbatim reading, the bridegroom has completed the age of 21 years and the bride the age of 18 years at the time of the marriage.
So you are trying to say that the word "and" is conjunctive of bride and bridegroom.
Yes, your lordship.
No, it is conjunctive of the qualification of the bride and the bridegroom.
Your lordship, while it does provide for the qualification of the bride and the bridegroom, it also...
That's all it is conjunctive about. It is not conjunctive about the bride and the bridegroom.
Your Lordship, this clause
It does not say bridegroom and bride whose ages are 21 and 18 respectively.
Yes, Your Lordship. But Your Lordship, and this contention which the
Council, it is my theory that this is much ado about nothing. The law does not prohibit the match.
Your Lordship, but the law cannot be read in isolation, Your Lordship. The legislative intent must be. Your Lordship,
It read in the context of a sleeping government.
Your Lordship, just drawing a parallel, Your Lordship. Like for instance, the word concurrence and in the SP Mittal case and the first the second judges in that.
Yes.
Your Lordship, there was a heavy reliance on the Constitutional Assembly debates.
You are walking into very, very, very rough terrain.
It's simply a parallel, Your Lordship, to elucidate on the fact that
go ahead, tell me what you want to say.
That the point here that the council is trying to make, Your Lordship, is that Constitutional Assembly debates and Legislative Assembly debates lay out the intent of the legislation and the reason why it was created in the first place.
The legislative intent in the debate which prohibited LGBT marriage.
Yes.
Is there anything you're showing me?
I can read it out from my compendium, Your Lordship.
Let us see that. Please tell me.
Yes, Your Lordship. Just a minute. I'll seek the. Yes, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, Pandit Thakurdas Bhargava has here opined that I want that our notions of society and family.
No, where are you reading from?
Apologies, Your Lordship. It's the parliamentary debates of the Hindu Code, wherein there was a.
No, I'm not interested. Hindu Code, I'm not in. I'm talking Hindu Marriage Design.
Your Lordship, so because all the Hindu.
There is no Hindu Code.
Your Lordship, since it was drafted all together, and they are interdependent on one another. For instance, the succession of
Hindu Marriages Act is an independent parliamentary legislation. In the debate of that, is there a debate that inhibits?
Your Lordship, a marriage. So, Your Lordship, the debates are centered around
that mindset.
Your Lordship, this is since the entire code was dealt with in collectivity.
Sorry, go ahead.
Since the entire code was drafted in collectivity, what the Legislative Assembly at that point in time agreed to and conceded to was that marriage firstly forms the first strata, the first sphere of society, and the entire society's foundation is dependent on marriage, and it was always.
Yes, Your Lordship. In the parliamentary debate.
Yes, Your Lordship. Pandit Thakurdas Bhargava. Of the Hindu Code, Your Lordship.
You're again going there. I want Hindu Marriages Act.
Your Lordship, as the council stated that it is, since all of these are read in collectivity to understand the intertwines of all the Hindu legislations of Hindu.
Are you telling me all the Hindu legislations were made in 1955 together?
No, Your Lordship. The council here is.
You are now saying I will use the constitutional debates of 1947 for a 75 amendment.
No, Your Lordship. What the council is intending to say is that in 1951, the Hindu Code was. The council seeks permission for an extension of time, please.
Yes. If I don't stop you, you can talk.
Definitely, Your Lordship. So, Your Lordship, what the council here is stating is that in 1951, the Hindu Code was envisaged by the Legislative Assembly.
What happened to that code?
Your Lordship, there are multiple legislations now which are based on this of the intent of the Hindu Code, which is the nexus between.
There was an intent.
Yes, Your Lordship.
How does an intent convert itself into action
Your Lordship, when it does
by a
become,
statute?
yes, Your
An
Lordship.
independent. Are you saying that there was no debate, no discussion, nothing even in 1955 when Hindu Marriages Act was passed? I thought that was a more modern development in Parliament to make bills without debate.
Definitely, Your Lordship, while the council
If
agrees
there
with,
was a debate in 1955, this act, I will go on my interpretation of statute tools, stop at that debate, not go beyond.
Your Lordship, while the council does agree with you on
As
this
a
point,
layman, I'm not going to borrow somebody else's crutches to walk. My crutches are my debate in the Hindu Marriages Act. Show me that. Otherwise, no.
Your Lordship, the council here is contending that the ideologies and the intent of the Hindu Code is carried forward in the Hindu Marriage Act and in the formulation of this.
Unless it is said so in the debate, I'm not accepting it.
Your
As
Lordship,
an argument, I'm telling you on your face, I'm not accepting it. It makes for bad law.
Yes, Your Lordship, but what the council here intends to say is that because the intent of is carried forward, and which is what is the final product of the legislation, and as Pandit Thakur Das Bhargava has stated that marriage is one of the 10 sanskars, and he's also stated that it forms
One of the 10?
The 10 sanskars of the Hindu religion.
Yes, it can be between two men. It can be between two women.
Your
He didn't
Lordship,
say it can't, did he?
But Your Lordship, since marriage is aimed at procreation and continuation of the religious fold itself.
A couple that decide not to have children are living in an illegal marriage.
Definitely.
Or a couple that don't have a child, even if they want to, illegal marriage.
But Your Lordship, a heterosexual couple possess the ability and the wherewithal to consummate a marriage and to conceive a child.
So you're saying consummation is more important than conception.
Your
and
Lordship,
consummation is possible between two people of the same sex also. Conception is not possible.
Your Lordship, as relying on the
Lawyer's friend, you're a lawyer. Go by exactitude of expression.
Yes, Your Lordship will do. Your Lordship, relying on the case of Samar Roy Chowdhury versus Snigdha Roy Chowdhury, which very clearly stated that there must be a peno-vaginal penetration of the penis into the vagina for the marriage to be consummated. This will be considered to be a consummation of marriage, and which is what will lead it to be a valid marriage. Since there's no possibility of regardless of whether it is unnatural or not.
In what context was the court dealing with it? They were dealing with that question in a case where they said that the marriage was not consummated.
Yes.
Or that was the point. In that context, they said so. That finding is in that context, not a general principle laid down.
Your Lordship, but there are no precedents stating that any carnal sexual intercourse will
lead into the argument that two people can't get married if they can't consummate a marriage.
Your Lordship,
let me ask you this: a man at 79 and a woman at 82, can they get married? Under the Hindu marriages? Yes, finish. That answers your question.
But Your Lordship, since religion is based on, so there are 10 sanskars which are interdependent on one another. And
show me something in the Hindu Marriages Act which says that a woman post-menopause can't get married.
Your Lordship, while that clause is definitely not mentioned anywhere in the Hindu marriage.
Then the whole theory of yours, procreation, all that falls like a pack of cards.
Your Lordship, the reason why the council believes,
and a pack of real cards, not a pack of cards on your system.
Your Lordship, the reason why the council believes that it does not is mainly because. Much obliged, Your Lordship. Would the council seek permission to move on to the next contention?
Yes.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, the next contention here is whether members of the said community can be allowed to marry as per their religious rituals of their respective religions. And here, firstly, the council states that this cannot be allowed, mainly because that these ceremonies and these rituals are an integral part of the religion. Your Lordship, what the council here believes is that in the Shirur Math case, there was the essential religious practice test which was laid down. And this test basically stated that if there is a particular practice and if there was a bar exacted on that,
I agree with you completely on that.
yes, Your Lordship. So, Your Lordship, what the council here
You want to
intends.
say anything more? Because on Shirur, you hit the nail straight by